Hello, welcome back to another part of Heileen 3 New Horizons. I'm your host, VGRP33, coming at you live. Well, it's live, I'll record it now, but yeah, it will be recorded for you guys. Let's have a sip of water. Remember, we've only got 3 years in this game. Before we can get that diamond or something. But anyway, Jonathan is more of a gentleman, unlike John, who sometimes acts like a pig. I agree with you, and I think Jonathan is way cuter too. I was so surprised at what she said that I almost dropped off those snacks. Do you like Jonathan? No, I think someone like him is only suited for someone like you. You two look like a perfect match. I don't think so. I don't even know him very well. Besides, he's interested in someone like Juliet, not me. I'm not so sure about that, especially after he painted you. Okay then, care to tell me what you know? I saw the painting, and it was beautiful. I think it's even more beautiful than his painting of Juliet. You saw the painting. Well, he showed it to me. But only to you, right? I think Laura Beeler and a few other pirates saw it too. I thought that painting was supposed to be private. Why is he showing it to the public? Marie laughed at me. That painting is so good, I think that the more people see it, the better. You think so? Yes. Have I ever lied to you? I felt myself smile at her honest compliment. And a few minutes later, we had finally arrived at Jonathan's place. Oh, here we are. Marie opened the door and the two of us went inside. We instantly saw Otto and Jonathan in the middle of a game of chess. They were so focused on it that they ignored us when we sat down near them. Uncle, your snacks are... Shh. Huh? Don't disturb me. I'm already losing. Okay, so I fetched you some snacks, walked all the way here to bring them to you, and you repay me by telling me to shut up. I was about to shout at my uncle, but Maria held my arm and reassured me. It'll be over soon, so be patient. Fine. I watched the two of them, and after a while I caught myself eating Otto's snacks. Stop. I ate a few pieces of the biscuits and stopped. Hey, why did you stop? Otto is so busy that he wouldn't notice you eating your snacks. Nah, I want to keep myself fit. Sorry about that. Temperance. That was bloody loud. It wasn't my headphones anyway. Why? Are you doing it for Jonathan's next picture? Jonathan looked up at us and then smiled at me. Oh, dear me. He stared for a few seconds, but then his attention was caught by Otto shouting. Ha, look, I found a way out of your check. They continued playing for a few more minutes, then Marie started talking again. You know what, Heileen? With such a perfect shape, I'll bet Jonathan's next painting of you will be an artistic nude. Jonathan directed his attention back at us, and at that same moment Otto shouted in glee, Checkmate. What? How, that's what you get for being distracted, Jonathan. But I ought to thank you, Maria. I couldn't have beaten Jonathan without your distracting topics. Marie smiled as she left with my uncle. Once Otto and me had left, an awkward silence surrounded us. Jonathan and I exchanged a shy glance and managed a weak smile. Jonathan finally broke the silence. Do you want to play against me? No, I'm not really that good when it comes to chess. I'm afraid I have to disagree. I'm sure you have skills just like your uncle. Oh, I never knew Uncle was that good. So, are you going to play or not? I was about to sit down and play when a younger, very attractive looking woman entered the room. By the way she was carrying herself, I could definitely tell that she was a wealthy noble. Oh shoot. Who is she? I promised to paint her and I completely forgot about it. I'm so sorry, Heileen, but I'm afraid we have to cancel this match. But I really am sorry, Heileen. This woman did promise to pay me handsomely and I needed to stay on board. Leave. That is great. Okay, I understand. I'll leave you to your duties now. I said these words as I looked at the very attractive woman he was about to draw. Is something wrong? Oh, nothing. I just wanted to play chess, that's all. Ooh. But why do you sound so harsh? I tried to banish my disappointment by giving him a smile. I'm sorry for that. I didn't mean it. Are you sure? Yeah, I totally understand. You're an artist after all. I was about to stand up and leave when Jonathan stopped me by grabbing my hand. Don't worry, Heileen. We'll be able to play chess real soon, I promise. I felt myself getting embarrassed, but I hid it with a laugh. You don't have to promise me anything, Jonathan. I mean it. After this picture, I'm going to have a lot of free time. We'll be able to play all the games you want. Wait, I did not sound like a child just then, did I? Ha, don't worry, you didn't. As a matter of fact, the one who looks like a child here is me. Jonathan gave me a smile as he let go of my hand. I smiled back at him, but my smile instantly disappeared the moment I saw the girl holding a very gorgeous dress. I did not want to assist her with it, so I waved goodbye to Jonathan and left. On my way back to the ship, I tried my best to forget about that girl. I didn't know why, but every time I thought of her, I got irritated. Calm down, Heileen. He was just going to paint her, that's all. It wasn't like they were in a relationship or anything. Now that I thought about it, Jonathan could easily get a lot of girls if he wanted to. He just had to do his looks, his talents, his job. I felt myself getting angry as I imagined Jonathan sweeping ladies off their feet with his charm. After a while, I just closed my eyes and tried to hum a certain song that would make me forget about it. Ah, my lord. Here we go. Play this. Buck needs some present Latin, mostly from memorization and understanding though. Yeah. Oh my god. So, how are things doing with Juliet? Be like, do you guys get along well now? Yes. Really? How did you do it? I was just joking. I think Juliet and I only get along when the cats start talking. Considering how I can hear Black speak, it might just be possible. Heileen. I looked behind me to see John hurriedly coming over toward me, carrying 2 glasses in his left hand and a bottle of wine in his right. Would you like to watch the lovely sunset while we indulge on this bottle of wine? Yeah, I accept the offer. I looked at the bottle of wine and to my pleasant surprise it was red wine, my favourite. Where did you get that? A person who owed me a favour gave it to me, guaranteeing that it was an excellent wine. Oh, that made me want to try it even more. I hope you don't mind, Ibile. Yes. Of course not, I'll see you later. Okay. Ibile left, and once she's gone, John scratched his head. Maybe it was rude of me not to invite her. Don't worry about that. Ibile never consumes alcohol. John looked at me like a kid that was caught stealing cookies. So are you going to pour that wine or not? The two of us drank a few glasses and watched the sunset. So, how is it? It's good. Great, just great. The last thing I needed was this awkward silence surrounding us. So, what is it? I never got the chance to thank you properly. For what? For, rescuing me. Oh, that. It doesn't matter, silly. I was glad to have found you. John remained silent after that. Uh-oh, he might have heard it the wrong way. I was glad to have found you and all the others, of course. Heileen, John, what's up? Yeah, you on a date or something? The two of us turned our heads to see Morgan and Juliet. I waved and gave a smile to greet them, but John, however, did something very strange. He stood up straight as if he was a soldier giving salutations to a general. I wasn't seeing the way he reacted. Morgan shook his head and laughed. You should learn to relax sometime, John. Oh, sorry about that. Hey, what is this for drinking? Red wine, do you want some? Juliet glanced at me for a second, then looked at John and gave him a smile. Red wine is my favourite. John started looking more comfortable when he saw Juliet smile. After that, he warmed up to her almost immediately. That's Heileen's favourite too. Oh, is that so? Yeah, I never thought the two of you had the same taste in wine. Maybe have the same taste in men as well. Juliet grabbed a glass and leaned in front of John, making sure to show him her breasts. Can you pour me some of that, please? John blushed and grabbed the bottle of wine behind me. Bah, I know Juliet thinks she's too good for John, but she has no interest. He has no interest in him. She's only doing this to annoy me, obviously. Don't do anything. I continued watching her, but when my eyes suddenly found on Morgan, I started talking. Well, considering the fact that you're always around Morgan, maybe we do have the same taste in men. Juliet blinked and automatically stood up straight. When she gave me that frightening glare of hers, the realisation of what I did just kicked in. Shoot, why did I say that? I felt really embarrassed now, but the intensity of Juliet's glare was making me feel afraid as well. I looked at John in a desperate attempt to ask for help, but he just stared at me, confusion evident on his eyes. So I tried to fix things myself. Ha 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 ha. I'm so sorry for saying that. I honestly don't know what got into me. My apology did not even faze Juliet's glare, so I turned to Morgan for help. But to my surprise, he was just smiling. Wow. We hit it all from Morgan, good. Juliet turned around to see what I was staring at, and when she saw Morgan, she got so angry that I could have sworn I saw smoke coming out of her ears. I think we should go now. Juliet pulled Morgan away from us, and once they were far away enough, she started screaming at him. John and I laughed and watched the two of them argue as they walked away. You know, those two must be in love. I remained quiet and continued watching the two of them, pondering over what John had just said. Morgan told me there was nothing going on between them, but what John said might be right. Are they really in love? But wait a minute, John and I argue all the time. Does that mean we're in love as well? La 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 la, choose your activity. Blah blah. Juliet told me that they're sailing to another colony. The travel will last 2 days, so I should find myself something else to do while aboard. Blah 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 blah. Da, 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 da. Oh, today is a really hot day. You know, here I was helping Marco clean up the kitchen. It wasn't really that bad, but things could have felt much better if this unbearable heat wasn't trying to kill us. I was in the middle of sweeping the floorboards when John suddenly arrived. Hello, Heileen, what are you doing? Oh, nothing. I'm just sitting here ordering Marco around. But it doesn't look like that to me. Are you really that slow, John? I was being sarcastic. So what are you really doing then? Must resist the urge to strangle this guy. I looked at him, forced a smile, and then gave my answer through gritted teeth. Isn't it quite obvious already? So you're cleaning. Let me help you. There's no need. Marco and I can handle this. Come on, let me help. I have nothing else to do anyway. Even if there was already 3 of us all doing the work, all this cleaning still proved to be quite strenuous. And to make matters worse, the heat wasn't subsiding, thus making things even more tiring. Behind me I could see Marco panting heavily as he wiped the sweat from his forehead. Marco, you alright? Not really, I'm really tired. I didn't sleep well last night. Then fatigue must be catching up to me. Really? Then you should go get some rest now. Are you sure? Yeah. But don't fret, Marco. We'll finish this. Thank you. Marco left and John and I continued cleaning. As we continued working on the kitchen, I couldn't help but notice John was constantly taking a peek at me. And since I remember the fiasco with my clothes before, I gave a whole outfit a quick glance to see if there were any holes. There weren't any, but when my eyes landed on my corset, I finally realised what was going on. I had forgotten to fasten it properly, and while I was working, it was quite easy to get a view of my breasts. My mind instantly told me to fasten it properly, but the thought of being constricted enough in this intense heat didn't really appeal to me. Don't fasten it. Well, since I'm doing quite a tired job, it's better for me to feel comfortable. I continued doing my work, but then I caught John taking a peek again. I laughed. John paused and looked at me with a raised eyebrow. And when he looked into my eyes, he laughed as well. I guess you know why I offered my help in the first place, huh? At first I thought you really wanted to help, but then as you constantly look at me, I finally realised the real reason. That's not true. Right, tell it to someone who will believe you, John. I tried to sound grumpy, but my giggles were giving me away. No, I really wanted to help, but a little motivation from you wouldn't hurt. The two of us laughed together again. We resumed our cleaning, and it seemed that John was finally taking his work seriously. Then Jonathan entered the kitchen, and then when he saw the two of us, he gave us a greeting. Good afternoon, Heileen, brother. Hi. Hello, Jonathan. What brings you here? Oh, nothing. I just got a glass of wine, and would you mind if I got one? Of course not. Feel free to do so. Thank you very much. He passed by the two of us, poured himself a glass of wine, and settled down at the table nearby. He brought out a book from his satchel and started reading while taking occasional sips from the glass. John and I resumed our work, but Jonathan's presence had somehow distracted me. Why would he read a book here in the kitchen? Or maybe he's using the book as a cover to watch what we're doing. John, my legs feel a bit stiff, so I hope you don't mind if I take a quick break. It's all right, you go ahead and do that. I'll finish all this myself. Thanks. I got up and sat at the table near Jonathan. Oh, I didn't realise you were already done. No, I'm just taking a break. I see. Jonathan looked at John, his face showing signs of disgust and amusement. Anyway, I just wanted to ask, what's up? Well, it's not that I'm being rude or anything, but you shouldn't be doing jobs like these. I think you should leave all these kinds of tasks to less cultured people. He didn't mention John's name, but where he said it, it's obvious he was talking about him. Called Jonathan a snob. You know, I feel so sorry for you, John. Jonathan and John looked at me at the exact same time. What do you mean, sorry for what? Well, for instance, I'm sorry that your brother is a total snob. John didn't react, but I couldn't say the same for Jonathan. He stood up and indignantly said, I am most definitely not a snob, Heileen. Oh really? How come I never see you doing any humble jobs then? It's because, I'm not skilled when it comes to doing them. It wouldn't hurt to try though. Why don't you help your brother right now? I'll be going now. I walked out of the kitchen to avoid having an argument with him. I would have continued if John wasn't there though. Whee! Might turn the music up in a minute. We'll be barely able to hear the music. Oh yes, 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 yes. There is a big party at the colony with music and dancers. However, it is getting late. Should I hang out with someone in particular and use a good amount of energy, or just go to sleep? Go to sleep. I decided to go to sleep, maybe another time. Oh my lord. Maybe, it's kind of creepy here when it's so late at night, isn't it? There's not a single light in sight. Yeah, you're right. We would have quickly gotten lost if the tavern owner didn't let us borrow some of his lanterns. I don't mind getting lost if I was with you though, Heileen. What? Oh, it's nothing. Hey look, there's a light over there. I looked in the direction Marie was pointing. Sure enough, I could see light coming out of the windows of a small house. Oh, that's odd. I thought only the tavern had their lights on at this time. That's Jonathan's workshop, isn't it? Is it really? I can't tell from here. Yes, I think so. I always pass by that workshop whenever I'm assisting Otto, Elias or Ibile, so I'm very familiar with it. Is that so? Then do you want to check out what he's doing this late at night? I thought you'd never ask. The two of us moved closer to the workshop and started wondering what Jonathan could possibly be doing in there. Maybe he's painting a semi-naked portrait of a very beautiful girl. Vivid images of him painting a voluptuous lady who was almost naked instantly started forming in my mind, and I had to rapidly shake my head to make it stop. Please don't say that, Marie. Ah, what's the matter, Heileen? Are you jealous? Ha! I ignored her teasing remarks and continued moving closer to the workshop. When we arrived in front of its door, we looked at into the window and saw that Jonathan was actually all alone. So the two of us decided to enter the workshop. When we did, Jonathan gave us a smile and asked us to take a seat. What brings you here at this time of night? Nothing much really, we just wanted to know how you were doing. He pointed at a big shelf full of books behind him. I'm trying to reorganise them by year of publication. I had them all arranged by name, but I was a bit bothered by it, to be honest. Out of sheer curiosity, I moved closer to the shelf to check all the books out. Whoa! You have the complete compilation of Catherine Phillips' poems. That's incredibly rare. Oh, that. It was just a gift from a friend. He even gave me some more. Let me show you. Then the two of us started talking about the various books he had and the authors that wrote them. And without even meaning to, I'd completely forgotten about Marie. So when I looked at her, it came to me surprise that she was looking at Jonathan's painting, trying to pretend that she was far more interested in it than us. I know she's been itching to join the discussion, but Jonathan and I were mostly talking about books that she hasn't even read yet. Talking about books that she might know. Oh, what about the Adventures of Don Quixote, then? Don Quixote, wasn't that the crazy man who thought he was noble knight? That book was pretty funny, you know. I don't think he was crazy, just delirious. Delirious and crazy are practically the same thing, Jonathan. We're talking about books that I'm sure Marie had already read. I finally managed to make her participate in the discussion. Love Marie. And whenever she caught me looking at her, she gave me a grateful smile. After a few minutes, Marie let out a big yawn. Getting tired, Marie? Yes, it's getting late. We should be heading back, Heileen. Oh yes, of course. You have to go back as soon as you can. It'll be too dangerous for two lovely young ladies to walk in the dark by themselves. Are you going to come with us? But I'm sorry, but even if I wanted to, I can't. I still have to fix a lot of things. Both of our gazes landed on the shelf of books at the same time. Let's be going then. See you later, Jonathan. Yes, of course. At least let me escort you to the door. No, there's no need. I'll just go with Heileen. Heileen, are you coming or not? Don't know, Bill. It's not really my problem, so why bother? It's too bad for Jonathan, though. I walked right over to Marie and waved goodbye to her. Jonathan didn't want to turn my way. He actually looked taken aback. So you really are going as well, Heileen? Yeah, sorry, I'm really tired right now. And besides, I don't really want to bother you. I've been quite busy reorganising all those books. Oh, well, yes. Let's cook with Marco. I hope I'll be of some help. Today I was helping Marco preparing the food for the tavern, the Black Anchor. Whenever we arrived at Colony, Marco would take the opportunity to earn money by helping out in the tavern's kitchen or introduce new dishes for them to serve. The tavern was understaffed, so I was an extra hand. However, my knowledge in cooking was rather lacking, so I mostly helped clean up or do simple tasks such as stirring or serving the meals to the patrons. Heileen, can you cut up these vegetables? He pointed to the table, which had an assortment of tomatoes, potatoes, and cabbage. Sure, leave it to me. Grabbing a nearby knife, I stood by the table and placed a freshly washed tomato on the cutting board. I pushed down hard, feeling the fruit warp slightly into the pressure, and managed to cut through it with some effort. Wait, is this right? It didn't feel so much like slicing as pushing the knife through. How could something so simple be so confusing? Marco noticed my distress and walked by, then pointed to the serrated knife on the table. I see you haven't spent that much time cooking. Ugh, that obvious? Pick up that other knife instead, it'll be easier to cut. I did as he instructed. The new knife went through the flesh easier, but the tomato still felt the pressure under my weight. Now slide the knife slightly towards yourself as you cut. Don't just cut straight down. Oh. I pulled on the knife, the blade cut through the tomato, forming a perfect slice that needed little guidance. I sliced another perfect piece, and Marco beamed cheerfully as her work became more efficient. My eyes widened in both surprise and delight. I can't believe how easy it is to cut like this. I was doing it wrong for so long. This changes everything. Marco laughed at my astonishment over a simple task. You'll be fine now. Don't worry about being too precise or removing the seeds. Half of them will become a sauce anyway. Thanks, Marco. It's actually pretty fun. After Marco observed me for a few moments, he returned to supervising the rest of the kitchen, barking orders. The rest of the day went pretty well, especially since I was able to prepare fruits and vegetables in a capable manner. When the tavern closed its kitchen, Marco rewarded me with some leftover soup, and I eagerly dipped my bread into it before devouring it. You did well, Heileen. If I ever need more hands in the kitchen, I know who to ask. I wouldn't mind thinking about it, at least. Not only that, I was able to be surrounded by delicious food and meals all day. It was definitely not a bad occupation. I wonder if I got what it takes to be a chef. Oh, well, nobody's better than Marco at cooking. I hope one day to be as good as him. Farm with a beeline. Farm with bloody. Yeah, don't know. Look with a beeline. With that's it. I finished my activities quicker than expected, so I decided to get some rest in my cabin. Before I could go to bed and relax, a loud knock echoed from my door. I opened it and saw Jonathan behind it, wearing his usual charming smile. Good evening, Heileen. Good evening. Do you need anything? Jonathan frowned and looked at me as if, like I said something wrong. I'm sorry if I bothered you. I didn't know you were busy. No, I'm not. I just wanted to know why you're here. Jonathan's frown disappeared and that charming smile was back. Okay then, I was wondering if you still wanted to play chess. Well, as much as I'd love to, I'm kind of tired. I don't really want to dress up, leave the ship and then go to the colony. You don't have to, I already have a chessboard with me. He showed me the thing he was carrying behind his back, and to my surprise it was indeed a chessboard. Oh, that's nice, come on in. Jonathan was about to come in, but then I realised something and slammed the door shut in a panic. It was without warming, so I closed the door. So when I closed the door, I accidentally smacked his nose with it. Ouch, is there anything wrong? I'm not going to do anything to you, you know. I'm so sorry, wait there a moment, okay. I started looking around for my room for something that would cover my nightgown. I grabbed the shawl that Black was sleeping on. I tugged on it so hard that he fell onto the floor. Oops, sorry Black, what was that for? I'm really sorry, you can sleep on the pillow if you'd like. Never mind, I'm wide awake now, I should just go find some rats. I'm really sorry Black, don't worry, it's okay. Black walked out to my cabin as I opened the door once more. Why did you do that? I'm sorry Jonathan, I didn't really mean to hit you in the face. You could have warned me. Well, I didn't really have that much time, you were about to see me. What's wrong with... Jonathan stopped himself from asking when he finally noticed what I was wearing. Then he burst and stammered an apology. I'm sorry. I think it's time that the two of us stop apologising and start playing. Jonathan smiled and finally entered my room. Sure thing. We started playing and I tried my best to concentrate. Jonathan, however, was so busy stealing glances at my legs that there were numerous times that telling me it was his turn. Yeah, this would surely be an easy win. After almost an hour, I managed to corner his king and was about to win the game with a stalemate. Sorry, Jonathan, but it looks like a stalemate. Not so fast. Jonathan quickly counterattacked with a few more moves. Checkmate. But I was sure I would win. Compliment him. Oh, Jonathan, you truly are a very good chess player. There's no need for compliments, Heileen. You're a very good chess player yourself. I thought I was going to get an easy win, but I must say you are a very worthy opponent. You're even better than your uncle. Really? Yeah. A moment of silence ensued, but Jonathan quickly broke it. Do you want a rematch? As much as I'd love to, I can't. I'm getting very tired and sleepy. Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's alright. I know you women love your beauty rest. I don't think you need it, though. I let out a small giggle as Jonathan stood up. Jonathan started to pack up, putting every piece back in its place. While he was counting the white pieces, the queen piece dropped onto the ground. I'll get it. I bent down to pick it up. When I raised my head, my face almost collided with Jonathan's. Careful, you don't want to hit my face again, do you? I didn't respond, for I was too mesmerised by his face that was uncomfortably close to mine. Silence fell. We just stared at each other for a few seconds. It almost felt like an eternity. Then he gently took my hand and looked at the queen piece. You know, Heileen, in chess the queen is one of the most important pieces. With her loss, the king will mostly slightly suffer. She's kind of like you. If a man were to lose a queen like you, he'd probably suffer a great deal. I giggled at what he said, and he plucked the piece from my hand. Okay, I'll stop bothering you and let you get some sleep. Good night. Good night. Jonathan left, and for the rest of the night he was the only thing that I thought of. Juliet told me that we were sailing to another colony. The travel will last 2 days, so I should find myself something to do while I'm aboard. Hang on a second. I was having an unusual stroll on the bridge when I noticed Morgan, Otto and Laura talking. I moved closer to them and all three of them welcomed me. So, what are you guys talking about? We were just telling the gorgeous Morgan about our trip, sweetie. Jeez, did she really have to call him that? Sorry, Laura, but I always told the gorgeous Morgan everything about our trip. No, you didn't. You forgot to mention Adam. Oh, well, since he refused to leave the ship, he died. I somehow forgot about him. I'm sorry. Don't apologize to us. Apologize to his departed soul. That was what I was doing. Why, is that a problem? Probably the least sincere apology I've ever given to the departed. Okay, I'm sorry, Captain Adam. Good. I heaved out a long sigh and Otto gave me a terrible look. What now? Never mind. But don't come crying to me if Captain Adam's soul comes back to haunt you. But I apologised. Otto, stop scaring her. I'm not scaring her, I'm just teaching her to respect the dead. Morgan gave a small cough and all three of us turned to him. I hope you don't mind if I ask you to tell me about him. Not at all, thank you. You see, I knew Adam very well. He was a good man, but he had a sad story. He was married to a woman he greatly loved, but he couldn't be with her as much as he would have liked, since he was always travelling on the ship. Then when he got back from a trip one day, he found out that she had died while he was away. Only then did he realise his mistake of not spending more time with her. Ever since then, he was constantly miserable, and when the ship sank, he was almost happy. Happy to go to his final rest, to be with his beloved once again. A sad look haunted Morgan's handsome face, then to my surprise he turned and stared at me. I felt myself blush as I looked away. After a few moments I glanced back at him, but oddly enough he was still staring at me. Why are you staring? I suddenly feel really sleepy, Otto. Let's go to bed. What? But I'm not done with my story. Save it for later, darling. Let's go to bed. I'm so tired. Laura literally pulled Otto away from the two of us, and now Morgan and I were left alone. You know, if I were in Adam's place, I would have done the same. Really? Yeah. Was it such a bad thing to do? Adam should have brought her with him. What makes you say that? I can already imagine myself in the shoes of Adam's wife. She's always at home alone while her husband is travelling to all kinds of different places. I would have died of envy in her place, and I would have left Adam for someone who'd actually bring me along. Morgan's smile disappeared and a frown took its face. It'd be bad if she just left him without even trying to talk first. Morgan then shrugged and shook his head. You're still too inexperienced, Heileen. You don't understand what it means to be freely sailing on the ocean. Excuse me, who are you to say that? Yeah, I may be a pirate, Heileen, but I'm also a ship captain. So believe me when I say that it's not very easy for us to be separated from sea life. But it's so difficult, then people like you should never get married. Morgan laughed and looked me in the eye. Getting married is the least of my worries, Heileen. I looked down in an attempt to avoid Morgan's eyes, but he was still watching me to the point that I started feeling uneasy. The right person might get me to change my mind, though. I can't stand to stare anymore. I have to go. Don't worry, Morgan. You will find the right person. Thanks. No problem. Now, excuse me, I have to go. Good night, Morgan. Good night, Heileen. I started to leave, but after a few steps I turned around to see he was still looking at me. So I quickened my pace and left, this time without turning back. Sorry, Morgan may act like an indifferent person, but there's something about that gaze of his that really melts my heart. Da, 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 da. Michael had decided to cook some food in a tavern nearby, so all of us decided to go there in order to have some taste of his delicious food. It seemed that Marco's cooking was more popular than we thought. There were a ton of people here at the tavern. Amidst a huge and noisy crowd, I somehow managed to sit at a big table with Laura, Marie and Otto. Darn it, there are so many people, I don't think I'll be able to get that much food. There, Otto, I'm sure you will, you don't have to worry. Laura rubbed Otto's back to calm him down, but he seemed not to notice, being so busy eyeing the other people like they were his worst rivals. Knowing him, he'd probably shovel those patrons away just so he could eat a lot. Due to the high demand of Marco's dishes, instead of the meals being delivered to each individual table, it would be set up so customers could serve themselves. The food arrived, and as expected, Otto charged at the table like his very life depended on it. He even let out a battle cry, causing Laura to sigh in exasperation. Otto. Whoa, look at your uncle go, Heileen. Marie and I laughed as we watched Otto enter the crowd. Whoever knew Marco's food was this popular? I nodded my head in agreement. Well, girls, what are you waiting for? You should go get some food while it's still there. The long table was filled to the brim with various dishes. There were marinated chicken, pork, seafood soaked in a mixture of cinnamon, lemon juice and pepper, tripe, pies and tongue seasoned with herbs, fish cakes, sausages, saltfish and fricassees. Fruit salads overflowed with ripe mangoes, bananas, figs, grapes and pineapples, stews included potato potage, bourboulasse, spicy olla podrida, and there were dozens of pastries, puddings and custards. Took full advantage of the plantations and tropical fruit. It was a cultural infusion of native African and European dishes that merged into a diverse selection. My mouth watered at the almond cake and the sauced oysters. Laura, Marie and I took our turns as well, but in the end we only managed to get very small portions of the food. The three of us evidently watched Otto as holding a big plate overflowing with huge portions of different foods. When Otto saw us staring at him, he hissed and gave us a glare, the very same way a tiger does when it's protecting its young. Wait for the next batch of food. Our envious stares quickly turned to vicious stares, but Otto ignored us and started eating. We continued glaring at him in the hopes that we'd start to feel guilty, while Otto remained unfazed and continued devouring the food on his plate. And when we finally decided to give up, John passed by carrying a tray of beverages. Oh, I never knew John was helping around here. Hey, John! John turned around and came over to us. Yes, how may I help you? Haha, you kind of look like a waiter tonight. That's because I am, Marie. Marie laughed some more. Marie, stop laughing. I, for one, think that you make an excellent waiter. Laura, how could you just say that with a straight face? Marie and Laura joked around with him, but I remained quiet and picked my salad. John looked at me to call my attention, but when he saw the amount of food on my plate, he said something about going back to the kitchen and left. He came back to me only a few minutes later. Hey, why don't you come with me to the kitchen? I hesitated, suspicious of what he was planning. Why? I had some more food prepared just for you. So if you follow me down to the kitchen, you can get it. Really? Alright then. I turned to Laura and Marie. Excuse me, but I need to powder my nose. Sure thing. See ya. I stood up and followed John to the kitchen. Once I was inside, the sweet smell of food greeted me. I could also see Marco frantically running around the kitchen, jumping from one place to another to tend to the dishes he was making. Bah, there aren't enough radishes here. Can someone please go get them out of storage? Will do. You there, please watch this for me. I have to go check on the bourboulasse. Yes, sir. This way, Heileen. John led me to the confused assistants, cleaning buzzboys and long tables filled with trays of succulent-looking dishes, to a small table with a single plate with large portions of food on it. Bon appetit! Eat in the kitchen. Oh my God, thank you so much, John. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I gave him a hug and a quick kiss on the cheek, and then I sat at the table and started eating. You are welcome, Heileen. Now I have to go, but I'll promise I'll be back. John left to continue serving food in the main room. That was greedy of me. But after a few minutes, he came back with a smile on his face and a bottle of red wine in his hands. Would you care for a drink? Of course, thank you very much. Once I finished all the food, I thanked him yet again and went back to the main hall, with a contented grin on my face. After the big meal, the atmosphere instantly changed. It's like things had started winding down and everyone could finally relax. Some of them went out for the walk, some remained to play cards, music was playing and a few of the people started having conversations. John and I also stopped working and sat down at our table. Ah, that was so tiring. Are you alright, John? And he started fooling around like he wasn't even tired in the first place. I'm so exhausted. I think a kiss from Heileen will make me feel better. What about your good punch in the face? I'm just, whoa. I turned around to see what suddenly caught John's attention. It turned out to be Sebastian with a gorgeous lady in tow. But once he saw us, he dismissed the all and came to join us at our table. Sebastian, how do you do that? What on earth are you talking about? Well, you know, how do you manage to get so many women when you're treating them so badly? John tried his best not to be embarrassed about his question, but he immediately turned red when Sebastian started laughing. Ha ha, what are you getting at, John? Excuse me? Ha ha ha, it's clear to me now. You're not that good of a seducer. No wonder Heileen calls you a failure. I was only kidding about that. John knows that himself. Yeah, he doesn't really mean it. She doesn't really mean it. I see, but still, if you were really good, you would know that by now. If you treat women badly, they'd fall head over heels in love with you. Women love bad boys, you know, not wimps such as yourself. John turned even redder, and as to add insult to injury, Laura started laughing too. I wouldn't mind being treated badly by Sebastian. Laura! I turned to look at her, shock painted all over my face. Whoops, sorry, the wine must be making me talkative. Even if Laura agrees with Sebastian, I couldn't say the same for myself. I felt sorry for John, who looked like he wanted to do nothing but disappear off the face of the earth, and Sebastian's bragging wasn't making him feel any better. Even if what Sebastian said is not something I usually agree with, even if he's a jerk sometimes, I found his charms irresistible. Defend John. No, I shouldn't let his charms get the best of me. Sebastian's nothing but a bragging bastard. I think of various ways to defend John, and a few minutes later, the best possible hits me. Heileen dear, your smirk is kind of scaring me. Hey Sebastian. Yes, mi amor. What if the roles were reversed? Would the same rules still apply? I'm afraid I don't understand what you're talking about. Well, do men fall in love with women who treat them badly? Oh, that, huh? Of course the same rule can still apply, but I've never seen that. Before Sebastian could continue his stories, I moved closer and slapped him in the face. Sebastian just stood there, mouth agape, his hand touching the part of his face I just hit. Apparently my slap was strong enough to leave a red handprint on his cheek. And a few seconds later, everyone started laughing, with John having the loudest laughter of them all. Ha ha, now you must be in love with Heileen, ha ha ha. Now if you'd please excuse me, I've had enough of you and your stupid stories. Are you heading back, Heileen? Yes, I think I'd like to have my rest now. I'll walk out on the tavern and then head back to the ship. Yes, that's it. Okay. I was about to get to my cabin when Morgan suddenly called for my attention. Hey, do you need something? Get in your cabin quick. Alright. The way he was asking you to get inside, it felt someone had an ulterior motive, something that made him look worried and nervous at the same time. I wonder what's up. Why would he want us to be together in my room so badly? Oh my, don't tell me. Wait, I don't think I'm ready for that yet. No, why would he even want us to do that? I'm sure it's something else. Yes, that has got to be another why he wants to be alone in my room. My room, all alone. Damn it, get those dirty things out of your mind, Heileen. I entered my cabin. Morgan immediately followed. He closed the door and then sat on my bed inside. What's up? Morgan looked me in the eye and then asked me to sit in the bed with him. From the way he was looking at me, I was positive he was going to tell me something important. I wonder what it is. Maybe he's going to ask for my hand. Heileen, I what? Like you? You to be mine? Oh, I wonder how I'm going to react to this one. I think Sebastian is stealing money from me. I always thought you liked someone like Juliet. I never thought you'd. Morgan blinked his surprise. What are you talking about? I must have dozed off. Sorry, I guess I'm just sleepy. I see. What was it again? I think Sebastian is stealing from me. What makes you say that? You see, Sebastian agreed to spy for me. I give him a stipend for bribes and such. Spy? Who is he spying on? My rivals, of course, are the pirate leaders, you know, that kind of stuff. He bribes their subordinates for information. I see, so what makes you think he's stealing? Well, when you see him going around spending all that money on wine and women, it is hard to believe he's not using some of my money to do it. I don't think he uses it only for information collecting purposes anymore. Morgan stopped talking and heaved with a long sigh. So, what do you think? I'm not sure. I trust you, Morgan. I believed almost everything you've told me. On the other hand, I don't think Sebastian is that dishonest. I also don't think he's quite daring enough to steal from you. Well, you're welcome to your opinion. All I ask is that you keep your eyes open when you're with him. Sure thing, you can count on me. Thanks. Now you should get some rest. Good night. Good night. Not long after the discussion with Morgan, Sebastian asked me to go with him to Port Royal. Remembering what I promised Morgan, I decided to say yes. We walked for a bit, and then once we arrived in the town square, Sebastian asked me if he could leave. I know I asked you to go with me, but can I leave you here? It's just for a little while. Why? I just realised that I need to meet with one of my contacts here. It's going to be a really boring meeting. You should stay here, relax, and enjoy the weather in the mealtime. Oh, okay then. That's great. I'll just sit there, and wait for me. I won't take too long. Sebastian waved at me as he left, and once his back was turned, I carefully trailed behind him. Morgan did tell me to keep an eye on him. A few minutes later, he stopped walking, and a man approached him. Guess he really was going to meet with someone. They were talking about something, but I'm far too far away to hear anything, and Sebastian paid him and headed off in another direction. I noticed that he still had plenty of money with him, so I decided to continue following him. After some time, he met with another man, and an older one at that. To my surprise, he gave him the whole bag of money. There weren't a lot of people around, and I managed to get close without being detected, so I was able to hear a small bit of their conversation. Make sure you hide it immediately, of course, and be careful where you're holding that. If I get caught, I'll be in some serious trouble. The old man nodded, then Sebastian gave him a quick pat on the back and left. He was probably going back to the square. Sebastian! Heileen, what are you doing here? I followed you. Oh, really now? Wow, can you tell me what you saw? How can you just stand there looking all smug and happy? Hey, I just wanted to know what you found out. Alright then, I know everything, Sebastian. I know that you're betraying Morgan. I can't believe you'd do something so despicable. I was about to run off to tell Morgan what I just witnessed, but Sebastian stopped me by pulling me into his arms. I trust you, Heileen. You wouldn't betray me, would you? We were very close to each other. I was almost charmed by his dashing smile, the way he caressed my hair, the way he stared into my eyes. Pushed him away, but before I could fall right into his trap. Get away from me! I gave him a swift and powerful push. I don't want to be close to a lying bastard like you. Besides, I know you're not interested in me, you just need my help. surprised at first, then gave me an annoying cocky grin. Then please allow me to explain. You don't have to explain anything. I've already caught you, so why bother? You see, that old man is my father. He's sick and really needs the money to pay for medicine. I'm sure you know how expensive that can be. You're such an idiot. Whoa, I never realised how my father would make me an idiot. No, it's not that. You could have asked Elias. He'd help your father for free. Sebastian blinked, and I could tell from the look on his face that he didn't know that. Did he really not know, or was he just that good of an actor? Alright, I won't tell Morgan anything on one condition. What is it? I want you to return the money and ask Elias to treat your father. That's not one condition, that's two. Are you trying to mess with me? Because if you are, you'll regret it. I turned my back on him and made my way back to the ship. On my way there, I couldn't help stop thinking about how sly and cunning Sebastian was. It's an admirable trait, yes, but it's also dangerous for us. Should I really trust someone like him? Yeah. Make sure you don't drop my supplies, Heileen. Don't worry, I've got a good grip on your little cabinet. We hurried down the streets of the colony towards the school that Marie was teaching. Earlier, Marie mentioned that some of the students had a terrible itch and they could not afford treatment. Elias offered to help. I was also worried about the children, so I wanted to lend a hand too. His missionary work specialised in healthcare, although he provided other religious services if needed as well. We found the building and Elias knocked, alerting curious faces through the window. Maria opened the door, a relieved smile on her face. Elias, Heileen, thank you so much for doing this. It's not a problem. There's a separate room, so please take Arturo and Esteban there. Alright, that is all for this episode. I'll save here, and I will see you in the next episode. Take care, enjoy the rest of your day now. Bye.